Hello everyone, welcome back to Going Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and today in this game unboxing video, as you can clearly see on the table, we've got Resident Evil, the board game, the Kickstarter edition, this coming from Steamforged Games. Now this actually recently delivered to me. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time, as I was really impressed with Resident Evil 3. I also picked up Resident Evil 2, and the release order of these things is kind of all over the place. Resident Evil 2 came out first, then Resident Evil 3, and now with this one, we're back to the very original Resident Evil. You're going to get to see all the components and everything that comes inside this Kickstarter edition, but know that there will be a retail version of this release heading out the doors in the very near future. So if you missed the Kickstarter campaign, you'll still be able to jump in on this experience. And I can tell you from my own experience with Steamforged Games, this is my favorite series of games that comes out of Steamforged Games to date. I really enjoy the Resident Evil series. They did a great job with the second one. They built on it with the third one, and I'm assuming this one is going to top the third one, which I'm looking forward to, and crossing my fingers it does just that. So without further ado, let's find out what we get inside the box here with the Kickstarter edition, and then you can stay tuned for a setup video as we dive into a play in the month of October for Halloween. On the back of the box, it states, sent to investigate a series of bizarre murders on the outskirts of Raccoon City, your search for answers led you deep into a foreboding forest shrouded in mist, but the gloom is the least of your concerns. Attacked by rabid monsters, you're forced to flee into a sprawling mansion that looms on the horizon, but as you stand in the main hall, gasping for breath, an uncomfortable truth hits home. There are only 4 of you left. Is your mission still to investigate the bloody murders and find your missing teammates, or is it to simply survive the night and escape with your life? When you first crack open the box, you're going to have death looking at you straight in the face, and it's not going to stand still. It's actually going to be moving. This is something that's a major change from Resident Evil 3, and you might think this is quite minor, but it's big time for those individuals that backed Resident Evil 3, as the paper that was provided in order to track your campaign has now been upgraded to a way more solid sheet, which you will not have to worry about laminating or be concerned about damage. This is awesome and already made me happy the second I opened the box. Next up, you're going to find the rulebook, of course, but not just the rulebook. Underneath of that, you also have a scenario book. We're going to go through both of these right now. Opening up the rulebook, you're going to find a table of contents as you'd expect. Introduction, components, character profiles, the gameplay basics, getting you through all the phases and reactions, a tutorial called the gunshot, additional game rules, starting the campaign being the most fun part of this entire experience, advanced rules, you have alternate game modes, you have easy mode, standalone mode, and solo play mode, and then a quick reference section there as well. Next up, you'll find a full itemized list of all the components you're going to see inside the box anyway as I go through them. We got characters, enemies, cards, tokens, and game elements, all kinds of things, but all labeled out in case you're not sure what is what. And if you're familiar with Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 in terms of the format and the flow of the rulebook, you'll be right at home here. We got character profiles, item cards. This is the general look and feel you'll find throughout the rulebook. And you'll see there's lots of great examples and illustrations all through the rulebook. Once you get through the basic phases of the game and the reaction phase rule sections in the first 14 pages or so, we get to the tutorial here, which is the very first thing you'll end up playing in order to get a handle as to how this version plays. After that, you're well on your way, and you can learn more additional game rules which you'll need to know as you move into the campaign, or you can simply reference this section as you run into those rules. As I alluded to before, the campaign is the coolest aspect of the Resident Evil series. This is where you learn how to start that campaign and set things up. Now, as we reach the end of the rulebook, we begin to see the advanced rules showing up. Has a section here for bosses, and in the alternate game mode section, you have easy mode, standalone mode, and solo play mode. I'll zoom in on the solo play mode. We'll take a look at that closer up. Now, as this is a co-op game, you can play multi-handed controlling multiple characters solo, but this refers to being able to play true solo with one character. Finally, on the back of the rulebook, we have a nice quick reference. Love seeing this as it gives you the high-level game flow and the things you need to know as you move through the round order. So we have the different phases: action phase, reaction phase, and tension phase. Very familiar for previous Resident Evil players. And we have out-of-sequence reactions, evade rules, attack effect symbols, and attack special rules. All of these labeled out in the back of the rulebook. We now look inside the scenario book, and you'll see the table of contents breaks things into gameplay, map legend, and scenarios. If I counted correctly, there's 19 scenarios here. Continuing onwards, we get to the start of the campaign, scenario briefs, progressing and completing the campaign, and the legend for different maps as we're setting up scenarios is labeled out. Moving right into the very first scenario, we have First Floor West A. This has an introduction, objectives, special rules, card decks, and after completing this scenario, this will tell you exactly what to do once you do complete it. And then on the right-hand side, the actual setup. Visually, you have, again, the legend to refer back to if you need to know what each of these icons are we saw on the previous page. Just for context, in terms of the differences between scenarios, I flipped quite a bit ahead in the scenario book to give you an idea as to a different scenario setup here. And the back of the scenario book also provides you with a campaign tracker, so you'll be able to keep your characters, your health track, your inventory, you got your item box, scenarios, whether they're locked, unlocked, or completed. The next thing you'll find inside the box is a bunch of punch boards. I'll show you the front and back of each of them. We've now gone through half of the box. The bottom portion of the box houses the miniatures, and underneath this, there's a card tray as well. Let's first take a look at every unique sculpt for the miniatures. With the miniatures out of the way, the final tray at the very bottom of the box houses the cards. Let's take a look at these up close. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up my game unboxing video for Resident Evil the board game, the Kickstarter edition coming from Steam Forged Games. Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel in order to not miss out on the upcoming setup video as well as the playthrough, as I show you exactly how to get this thing to the table and also how it flows and operates to help you make that informed decision. If you're not part of our Discord or the Facebook group, find the links in the pinned comment video description. We'd love to have you there. And if you already have this game on the table, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Or if you don't have the game, let us know if you're intrigued by what you've seen so far. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.